to the sky tore open in silence. No thunder, no fire, just a distortion like reality itself bending under pressure. Daniel stood at the highest platform of the temple, the device locked into the central node, his hand steady, despite the storm of energy building around him. "They've committed," he said. Above him, the shapes multiplied, no longer distant observers, but descending forms, phasing in and out of visibility. Their surfaces shimmered like liquid metal, bending light, adapting even as they entered the atmosphere. This wasn't reconnaissance, this was arrival. "Engage Phase 1. The command echoed across hidden channels far above the Earth. Orbiting platforms shifted. Drones aligned, satellites recalibrated. Then the sky responded. 2 lines of light streaked downward. Not explosive, not destructive, but precise. Focused beams intersected across the airspace above the jungle, forming a lattice of energy, a net. Daniel felt it immediately, the same frequency, the same disruption field as the temple, but amplified, global. The first creature entered the grid and faltered. Its form flickered violently, shifting, destabilizing, as if struggling to maintain cohesion. The elongated limbs twisted, the hollow eyes dimming, its entire structure momentarily visible, then breaking apart into fragments of light before snapping back into form. "They're being forced into our lair," Daniel said. "Good, but the creatures adapted. They always adapted." A pulse surged from the descending formations, sharp, synchronized. The grid flickered. Several beams collapsed. "Stabilize the network. Adjust frequency now." Daniel didn't wait. He moved with practiced precision. He activated additional nodes across the temple. Spirals ignited, pathways glowing as ancient circuits came alive. The central beam intensified, shooting upward, intersecting with the human-made grid. The 2 systems connected, ancient and modern aligned. The air screamed. A massive distortion wave erupted outward from the temple, expanding across the jungle like a ripple in space itself. The creatures closest to the source froze, not physically but structurally, locked. "Now," Daniel shouted, though no one could hear him. Above, they understood anyway. "Target lock confirmed. Deploy strike pattern." From orbit, a new weapon fired. Not missiles, not explosives, pure energy-focused bursts of calibrated interference slammed into the immobilized creatures, their forms fractured under the assault, layers peeling apart, their unnatural structures unraveling under the combined frequencies. One collapsed, completely disintegrating into a cascade of fading light, the first kill. But the rest reacted instantly. The sky darkened, not from clouds, but from them. Dozens now, hundreds. They began descending faster, bypassing the grid, phasing unpredictably, attacking from multiple vectors. "Too many," a voice shouted from above. "They're overwhelming the network." The grid began to fail in sections one by one. Daniel saw it. Two knew it. "They're learning the pattern." He ran, not away, through. He moved across the temple like he had trained for 2 years, activating nodes, rerouting energy, forcing the system to adapt faster than the creatures could. "Change the frequency," he muttered. "Don't stay predictable." The temple responded, the glow shifted, the hum deepened. The next wave of creatures hit the field and recoiled. The adjustment worked. Above, the operator saw it. He's modifying the signal. Match his output. Human systems recalibrated again, faster now, learning from him. Below, the forest erupted. Animals fled in every direction as reality itself fractured between 2 forces colliding, alien precision versus human resistance. A creature broke through. It landed hard, just beyond the temple walls. Daniel turned. For the first time, he faced one directly. It stood taller than him, limbs shifting unnaturally, its surface rippling as it stabilized in this world. The hollow eyes fixed on him, not with hunger, but recognition. "You remember?" Daniel said quietly. It moved fast. Daniel dodged, barely rolling, as the ground where he stood warped inward, pulled by an unseen force. "Not touching me," he muttered. He grabbed his spear, charged now faintly with the temple's energy, and drove it forward as the creature lunged again. Impact. The creature recoiled, not wounded in the traditional sense, but disrupted. Its form flickered violently where the spear made contact. They're vulnerable to it. Daniel pressed forward, not attacking wildly, but precisely, every movement controlled, every strike timed above. More beams fired. Below, the temple pulsed. The battlefield had no clear sides, no clear lines, just overlapping layers of existence colliding. Another creature fell, then another, but still they kept coming. Daniel stood in the center of it all, breathing hard, eyes locked on the sky as more shapes descended. This isn't the end, he said. Above him, humanity held the line. Below him, ancient defenses burned at full power. And between them, Daniel stood as the bridge, the one who understood both worlds. The battle had begun, and for the first time in history, Earth was fighting back.